All right, kids, I need you to open your book to page 147, please. 147. We're going to start our lesson with multiples today. As always, this is a video. If I go too fast for you, if you're unable to write things down, you need to make sure that you pause the video and get whatever Miss Hill has written down in order to fulfill this lesson successfully. All right, so again, that is page 147. If you need to pause the video to get there, please do so. If you are there, that's great, and let's start. All right, so it says, read and try to solve the problem below. Hummus is a food spread made from beans called chickpeas. Molly has 5 cups of chickpeas. She uses 2 cups of chickpeas to make 1 full batch of hummus. Molly makes only full batches of hummus. Does she use all her chickpeas? Okay, so what I want you to do is pause this video, and I want you to try this problem, then come back and see how you did. Okay, so hopefully you paused your video, and now you can check your work. If she has 5 cups of chickpeas and she uses 2 chickpeas to fulfill 1 batch, you could have simply had 5 cups, and then you could put 2 together to show that since she only makes full batches, that she can only make 2 batches with 1 left over. All right, so in other words, no. Does she use all of her chickpeas? It would be no. She has 1 left over. All right, flip your page. All right, so we're going to explore different ways to understand multiples. Again, there's our word problem talking about hummus. You can picture it. If you look there, there's 3 cups. But if you notice, this was 1 cup, and that's 2 cups. And then this one here just has the 1 cup. But remember, 2 cups make a full batch. So she just divided it into 2 cup measuring cups. All right, so let's picture it. You can model it. You can also use a number line to help understand the problem. So the number line shows multiples of 2 circled. To find the multiples of 2, you can start at 0 and skip count by 2s. You can see that the multiple of 2s are even numbers. So what they did was they started at 0 and they skip counted 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the numbers that are circled are multiples of 2. They are the skip counts of 2. All right, next page. First question says, and we're going to connect everything from the previous page to understand how to use multiples to solve problems. So it says, why does the picture use measuring cups that hold 2 cups of chickpeas? All right, so if you need to go back to the picture, why does the picture use measuring cups that hold 2 cups of chickpeas? Hopefully you are thinking that each full batch takes 2 cups. Each full batch uses 2 cups. So remember, she can only make a full batch, and she has to have 2 cups for that. Again, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause your video. Please make sure you understand that what I write down, you need to write down. It can be different, but something needs to be written down. All right, number 2, how can you tell from the measuring cup picture that Molly does not use all 5 cups of chickpeas to make full batches? So they want to know, how can you tell from the measuring cups that she does not use all 5? Well, if you look at the 3rd cup, it's only half full. So the 3rd cup is only half full. What do the circle numbers on the number line represent? Well, they represent multiples of 2. You could also say skip counts of 2. All right, number 4. How can you tell from the number line that 5 is not a multiple of 2? I want you to write a response, pause the video, and then come back and check this number 4. How can you tell from the number line that 5 is not a multiple of 2? All right, hopefully you have written a response down, and the 5 is not circled. When you skip count by 2s, the 5 is not circled, so no, it is not a multiple of 2. All right, number 5 says, how many cups of chickpeas would Molly use in 3 full batches of hummus? And hopefully you would have to put 6 cups. And number 6 says, explain how you would find out whether a number such as 5 is a multiple of 2. So pause the video, write a response, come back and check it. All right, so hopefully when you came back, something as simple as when you skip count by 2s, you do not land on 5. So this means 5 is not a multiple of 2. And also, if you think there is nothing times 2, that equals 5. So it also means that it is not a multiple of 2. All right, number 7. Look back at your try it strategies by classmates and picture and model it. Which models or strategies do you like best for using multiples to solve a problem? Explain. So there were 2 strategies that we talked about. One was a number line. Are you the type to make a number line and then circle the numbers that you skip count by to find multiples? Or do you like the basic skip counting strategy, just listing the numbers? That might be a little bit easier, a little bit faster, or more of a habit that we have as we skip count. And if that number isn't one of the skip counts that we say, it's not a multiple of the number that we're looking at. All right, so flip your page. All right, so we're going to use what you just learned to solve these problems. Please, boys and girls, as you go through these problems, pause the video, try the problem, then come back to the video to see how you did. All right, Nolan plays on a soccer team. His dad is bringing water for the team to the next game. There are 4 bottles of water in a pack. The team needs 20 bottles of water. Can Nolan's dad buy exactly 20 bottles in a pack of 4? Show your work. So we have packs of 4 bottles, and they want to buy exactly 20. So if we're packs of 4, there's 4. 4 more bottles would be 8. 4 more would be 12. Another 4 would be 16. And another 4 would be 20. So this is exactly the number that we need. So yes. Yes, he can buy exactly 20 bottles. Now, if we would have skip counted and would not have said 20, then no, it would not be exactly. They're wanting to know, can he buy exactly 20 bottles? And that's simply, he only needs 4 times 5 equals 20. That would also be considered showing your work if you did that. All right, number 9. What are the first 5 multiples of the number 3? Okay, the first 5 multiples of your number 3. Show your work. So I know you're probably thinking, well, how in the world do I show my work? You can make a number line. Okay, if we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Might have to make your line a little bit longer and go to about 20. All right, so the first 5 multiples of the number 3. So we basically skip count by 3s. So if you start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, you can also show your work by doing 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, or 3 times 5 equals 15. All right, so the first 5 multiples in order are 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Make sure you pause the video to be able to write all of your work down before moving on to the next problem. All right, number 10, how can you tell if 24 is a multiple of a given number? So this means a multiple of any given number. Just one way is if you skip count by the number that is given to you and you land on 24, then you know that 24 is a multiple of that number. All right, so if you skip count by the number and land on 24, then you know that 24 is a multiple of that number. Simple and easy. Skip counting. All right, so as we move on to our green pages to practice multiples, I want you to pause the video. Okay, so pause the whole video, and I want you to try every single problem. I think there's 6 problems. So pause the video, try all 6, and then come back and check your work. Pause your video. All right, here we go. So hopefully you have tried all 6 problems. As always, you can pause the video, check your work, or pause the video to fix your work, which I would rather you do. All right, so we're going to study the example. All right, markers come in boxes of 5. Kofi needs 40 markers for students in the art club. Can Kofi buy exactly 40 markers in boxes of 5? How many boxes does she need to buy? Find multiples of 5. So they set this up a little bit differently. They actually showed the multiplication problems where 5 times 8 is 40. So 40 is a multiple of 5. So Kofi can definitely buy exactly 40 markers, and that would take 8 boxes. All right, number 1, skip count by 4s to find multiples of 4. Circle the multiples on the number line. All right, so this is actually skip counting by 2s. So 4 to 6 is 2. 6 to 8 makes 4. 8, you could do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so it says complete the multiplication facts to find more multiples of 4. All right, so if we're continuing this number line, at 4 times 6 is 24, 4 times 7, 4 times 8, 4 times 9, 4 times 10, and 4 times 11. So then you would only have to put in your products there, which are your multiples of 4. Hopefully you got those right. All right, number 3 says look at problems 1 and 2. Are these the only multiples of 4? Use words or numbers to explain. All right, so hopefully your explanation here is no. A multiple of 4 is any whole number times 4. It doesn't matter what the number is. If you can multiply it by 4, that number is a multiple. They did ask you, you didn't have to put another example. You could say 48 is a multiple. you could go 4 more, and 4 more after that, and 4 more after that. So as long as you multiply any number by 4, you by that whole number times 4, it would be a multiple of that number. All right, moving on. Number 4. A group of volunteers plans to build tiny houses for people without homes. The houses will be built in rows with 7 houses in each row. Find 2 possibilities for the total number of tiny houses the group can build. Show your work. All right, so if you're thinking of rows of 7, this could be a row of 7. This could be a row of 7 for a total of 14 houses, which is just 7 times 2. Instead of doing 7 times 2, you could do 7 times 3. You could do 7 times 4. You could do 5 rows of 7, 6 rows of 7. Any of those would be acceptable. So I'll come over here. You could do 28 rows. You could have 35 rows. You could have 42 rows, 56 rows, 63 rows, 70, 77, or if you multiply by a really big number, I'm proud of you. All right, number 5. Adriel orders 72 mugs. Mugs are packaged 8 to a box. How many boxes of mugs does Adriel order? Tell whether each expression or statement could be used to solve the problem. All right, so my first thing is if she ordered 72 mugs and they're packaged into 8 to a box, how many boxes of mugs does she order? So you have to think, is 72 a multiple of 8? Okay, that's the question. Is there a number times 8 that will give me 72? You could skip count, any of those things. So they want to know, tell whether each equation or statement could be used to solve the problem. I already see multiples. I'm going to go ahead and put a yes on this one. Multiples of 8. Oh, look there. I did this one. So using that, now could you take this and flip it to division? Yes. Is this saying 82 plus 8? That is no. Remember, multiples are skip counts. Those are multiplication, not addition. All right, the last one. Strawberries come in 1 pound, 2 pound, and 5 pound boxes. Noma wants to buy exactly 10 pounds of strawberries. What are 2 ways that Nona can buy exactly 10 pounds of strawberries? Tell which size of boxes she can buy and how many of each size. Show your work. Okay, so she wants 10 pounds. And we have to do 2 different ways. All right, so anything that shows a factor pair of 10, she could buy 10 1-pound bags. She could buy 5 2-pound bags. Or she can buy 2 5-pound bags. So if you really think about this, let me change my color here. This is just 10 times 1. All right, this is 10 times 2, and this is 2 times 5. All right, so any of those would work. That would give her exactly 10 bags. So good job if you got that. I'm super proud. And move on to the next thing on your to-do list.